Welcome, I hope you're all enjoying your lunch. We're finally at the last week of term. I hope everything is going as well as it can, what with snow and everything else that's hit us this week. Very, very pleased that you're joining us today at the NEU's replacement ballot party. My name is Mari Burton, I'm a National Campaign Manager for the National Education Union, and I'm here joined today by our Joint General Secretaries, Kevin and Mary, and all things replacement ballot as well. Firstly, a quick apology. We're very sorry, but we don't have BSL interpretation for this call. There's a bit of a technical issue. We're working to get that fixed for our call, which is scheduled for after when school finishes. So today, as I say, we're going to speak to you about all things to do with the national. Give us a wave if you're at home, if you're at school, in the staff room. Join us online. Make sure that you add comments, give us a bit of a shout out, and we'll try and shout to as many of you as possible. But firstly, I want to make sure that we all know what we're here for today, and that's all about the NEU's national ballot. We are coming up to the deadline for when you can order your replacement ballot. That is this Friday, which is why we wanted to speak to you all today. And obviously we need as many votes in as possible, as soon as possible. And it being the last week of term, we thought this is as good a time as any to get in touch with you directly in your staff room. So thank you very much again for joining us. So to cut straight to the chase then, why should you vote yes in this ballot? Why is your union advising that you vote yes? I'm going to go straight over to Joint General Secretary Mary Bousted for this. Mary, why is it important that all our NEU members vote yes in today's ballot?
Well, thanks, Mari. It's a great question. And the reason why NEU members need to vote yes in the ballot is because you have lost humongous amounts of pay that you deserve, that is owed to you, for the essential work that you do. So if you're a teacher and you were qualified in 2010 and you made normal progress up the pay scale, since 2010 you've lost over £64,000. That's enough for a deposit on a house. If you started 5 years ago, you've lost over £30,000. You're losing money at a time when you're working harder than ever. But there's another thing which is happening, and what's happening then is that we're seeing that graduates just don't want to become teachers. Just this week, the government released its teacher training figures, and they've just got over half the application, the people on courses that they need. It's a terrible situation. That's been going on for years. So we're not training teachers, and that's having a profound effect on the classroom. You know, I think most of the people watching this know how I feel about Ofsted, and I don't give Ofsted a good report. But the Ofsted report that is out today essentially says, being starved of education, that education is just being neglected, that they teach them, that children with special needs don't have support staff to support them. They earn more working in Lidl or in Aldi, that really complex and demanding work of supporting children with special educational needs. You're working in buildings which are essentially falling down, most of them, where they are just not fit for purpose. And you know all of this, and if you want to make a change, then there's only one way to really show government ministers who know about their neglect of education, but are not prepared to do anything about it. The one way to show them that you care about education, you care about your pupils, is to vote yes in the strike ballot and to send the ballot off today. That is the way to show them that you object to this chronic neglect of schools, of children, and of education.
Thank you very much, Mary. There is a code on your screen. It should be just above Kevin's head. Give it a scan now. If you can't find your ballot, if it's been lost amongst the marking, I know that I was the worst for that when I was in the classroom, scan it now, order your replacement ballot today. After the 16th, after this Friday, you won't be able to do this anymore. So if you haven't done it, if you're not sure where your ballot is, scan it today. And as Mary said, this is something that just can't go on any longer. We've got fewer and fewer people who are graduating, wanting to become teachers. Quick shout out to Fiona Burton, who is my younger sister who's just started in primary school. I know that you voted and are encouraging your members in your school to vote. Be like Fiona, ask other people as well to make sure that they have also sent their ballot off. But There might be a couple of questions about how you actually get that vote done. So I'm going to hand over to Kevin, our other Joint General Secretary, who's going to explain how you vote, and if you have lost that ballot, how you can sort that out. So Kevin, how do people get voting?
Oh, thank you, Mary. And just following on from what Mary said, the fact that today Ofsted have criticised the government about the supply of teachers and the supply of support staff, it's the first time it's ever happened. It shows our argument is starting to cut through. To continue that argument, we have to get as many votes in the bank as possible. And what people need to understand is that has to be a vote by post. The people electronically, and it's a law in this country that votes have to be postal. And it's old tech, but it's the way it's done. So if you want to help us, you have to vote by post. And we really need everyone to cast their vote. And there's two reasons for that, Maury. One is that the government sets thresholds. We have to pass those thresholds. The second is that the more important reason to me is that everyone who casts a vote is adding their voice to the argument with government that they are going to have to do something about teacher pay, about support staff pay, and about the funding of them. So by voting, you're adding your voice to that argument. And there are two deadlines coming up that really matter. I hesitate to say one of them. The last date for getting your vote back to Civica, the election scrutineer, is January the 13th. But I want to say to you, you should treat that like the end of this term. The post is really delayed. There are strikes, there are Christmas mailings, the post is really delayed. So please get your ballot back as soon as you possibly can. We know what it's, my partner was a long-time teacher in year 1, year 2, year 3. I know how exhausting it is, but make sure it gets in the post. And if you've lost or mislaid your ballot, you can order a replacement. Thousands of people are ordering replacements, but the very last day to order a replacement is this Friday, the 16th of December. The QR code, you can scan that on the screen, but it's this Friday is the very last date. So we do want you to get your votes in. Just one other thing, your colleagues in the NASUWT in your school, your head teacher in NAHT, they are also balloting. They also have to vote by post, so encourage them as well. Thanks very much, and help us win the argument with the government.
Excellent, and again, really good point. It's not just our union that's calling for this action. We are joined by our colleagues at NASUWT and NAHT as well. So we all need to speak with one voice to really make sure that the best thing that can happen for this profession, the best thing that can happen for our young people, is that we get a fair deal. So again, there is the QR code just on screen now. If you've already voted and you know that people have a replacement vote, then pass that code on to them and get them scanning this. Again, Friday's the last week we can do this. Now we're having a couple of technical issues getting our President Louise coming on. Oh no, I've just been given the go-ahead. We have got Louise, who's our National President, joining us today remotely, which is great news. So Louise, we've talked about why people have got to vote yes, why people really need to make sure that they've got that vote in and how to get a replacement. Once we've done that, we've had thousands and thousands of people who've already cast their vote. What else can they do, Louise, to support that ballot?
Hi, Mary. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you.
I'm so sorry, I'm having even more technical issues with the cameras, so apologies for that. But if it's okay, I'll be really, really quick because I've got some really important messages, if that's okay. Can you still hear me? Am I okay to go?
Yeah, no, we can hear you. We just sorted out some technical issues there, Louise. Go ahead.
Super, yeah, sorry. So I just want to ask everybody on the call, thanks ever so much for joining us today, and I hope you're enjoying the final few weeks of term. I know how difficult they can be, particularly being a primary school teacher. But we've heard from Kevin and Mary about why we should be voting and how we should get the votes out. I just want to really implore people to help in every way that you can. So if you can take a ballot from somebody, post it for them. I have a post box personally on the end of my road, and I know how many times I have left an envelope in my bag that has not made it into that post box. So sometimes it's just really helpful just to say to somebody, can I take that for you, and I can stick that into the post box for you. But also talk to every single colleague. And I heard you just saying before, Mari, as well, you know, it's other unions as well, but every colleague, we're all education professionals, and we know why we're doing this fight, and we know why it's so important. So those conversations really, really do matter. And you could possibly have a bring your ballot to school lunch. And if you do that, I would ask if you can send some photos in. It's always lovely to see photos of groups of members getting together, sending their ballots in. And finally, I'll just finish by saying as well, ask your rep if they need any help in school. I've been around Carlisle, which is where I'm based. I've spoken to some fantastic reps over the last few weeks, but they've got a lot of work to do themselves. They've got their job to do as well as their job as a rep. And I'm sure if you've got a rep in school, they would absolutely value you just asking them, can you help them? Are there any conversations that they need you to have? And I am really sorry I'm not in there in person. I love your jumper, Mari, and I'm really sorry I couldn't get my camera working as well. But thank you for just letting me add in some of those points.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us, Louise. I know it did sort of feel like hell and high water was being thrown at you to join us today, but we're really, really glad that you did. So you've heard from Louise some really nice ideas again to just think about how you can get involved if you've already voted. But the most important thing, as I will keep saying like a broken record, is to make sure that you voted. And if you voted, make sure everybody else, either in the NEU or in NASWA as well, in your school, has cast their vote now. So again, there is a fantastic QR code that I'm gesturing above Kevin's head. Give it a scan. Make sure that if you've lost that ballot, or even if you're just thinking, did I leave it in the fruit bowl or did it accidentally get lost somewhere else? Don't leave this to chance. Make sure that you have got that replacement ballot, because obviously if you don't have one and you don't ask for one before the 16th, 5 p.m. is the cut-off point on the 16th, this Friday. We can't send you a new one. So it's really important that you get your voice heard on this as well. It comes in a prepaid envelope, so it's very, very simple. All you need to do is put a cross in the box, stick it in the envelope we've sent to you, stick it straight in the post box. Do that as soon as we can, just to make sure that that voice gets heard as quickly as possible, and so we can keep pushing forward for this. Have a fantastic Christmas. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your lunch break. I know it's a really, really busy week this week. Make sure that if you've sent your ballot off, that you've confirmed with us, tell us that you voted. It's really great to hear about all the different people who've done these votings. Make sure that you just let us know so we can keep track of everything. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and very Merry Christmas when it arrives. Thank you. Bye-bye.